Hi friends, it's Becky, and the beads were good this week. I feel like it's been a while since I did a weekly wrap up, and for a little while there I was like, oh, I'm going to have to share everything that I made for the entire last month that I've missed, but you know what? We're skipping past all of the stuff and I'm only going to share the things that I made this week. So, because there's a lot. And I think we can fit it in though. But yeah, so I am hopefully going to be making this more of a regular thing so that y'all can get caught up with me and figure out if you've missed any of my videos or things like that, and go back and watch them if you need to. And then, so I'm going to flip down to my mat. We'll take a look at the things that I made. There's quite a few. And then we'll flip back up and do a little bit of a try on. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff on my mat, and I know even paring down everything to just what I made in the last 7 days, there's still a lot of stuff. Most of this stuff y'all got to make with me, either in a live or in just one of the videos that I posted. But some of them I made, well, actually one of them I made off camera. So let me show you my off-camera make one. It's just one where I still had some beads in one of my bargain bead boxes with these, it's the one that had these moon shape charms and everything like that. And it was just such a fun box, and I hadn't gotten a chance to do all the things that I wanted to do with that box. And, you know, talking with Rachel about past Sam's bead boxes, when I was on the live with her, that really made me sort of go back and look at some of my other bead boxes, and I just wanted to make a little jewelry set using some of these beads, like these lapis brios and this antique copper finding, and then having my little guy here with just these lapis nuggets in this chain. It was a pretty simple design, but I just wanted to make it without having to worry about whether my hands were in camera view or something like that. So I did make this outside of YouTube, and it was something that I did with that. But I also on St. Patrick's Day, I made a St. Patrick's Day necklace using some of the beads from the curated bead box and some findings. These were actually from Bargain Bead Box, or Bead Box Bargains. But it was just a really fun thing to put together using some of these green beads and these like Celtic knots. And it was absolutely fun to make it and then to wear it during St. Patrick's Day. So those are two of the things that I made at the beginning of the week. And then I did go back to the Woodland Fairy Sam's bead box, and I made these asymmetric designs. I did this bracelet that honestly, it inspired my bracelet bash that I did later in the week with these little leaf dangles and everything like that. This was such a fun design to make, and it was so much fun to go back to the bead box that I really liked. And Sam and Rachel put together a little coupon code for my subscribers so that you could get another box, or a box if you didn't have one at the beginning of the Woodland Fairy, for $10 off the extra boxes. But I'm hoping that some of you took advantage of that and you were able to get your hands on one of them. But it was a lot of fun to do this asymmetric design by making my chain and then weighing it, and then putting the same weight of beads on the other side so that when it hangs, it doesn't go like this while you're wearing it, because that's something that happens a lot when I make asymmetric designs. And I think going forward, when I do an asymmetric necklace, I'm definitely going to be weighing them so that I can make sure that because it hangs. I wore it all day, a couple of different days, and it stayed right there in the middle with my little fairy right there. So that was another design that I made. And then speaking of the bracelet bash, it's a lot of work to do it, but often very worth it for me. And again, those were all really inspired by the bracelet that I made for that blast from the past. So I made another one with the current Sam's bead box right here. And then I made one with one of the Tucson bundles that Neelay put together from Silver Silk and More. This is my favorite Tucson bundle. It's the glow one. I don't know if they still have any left, but it was my favorite, my absolute favorite. I loved it so much. Hopefully you guys, if you wanted it, got one of those too. This one was from the beads in the dollar bead box with a little dragonfly and these purple beads. This one was from beads in the double rainbow kit from Soft Flax, and it is so colorful and sparkly, and I love it. This one was from the curated bead box, and it is springtimey. We've got pink and green, two of my favorite color combinations, and a little lovebird charm for a focal. Well, it's a connector, not a charm. Then we've got this one. It has this butterfly connector at the beginning, and this was from the some of the beads in the Gemstone Orphanage January special edition box. They're coming out with one in April, so I'm really excited to see what we have in that. But this box had so many gorgeous, pretty colors. I absolutely loved it. And then we got this pretty green and growing things from the Key Lime Pie bargain bead box with my dangles, and these guys glow in the dark. It's pretty fun. And this, I love this. This is like so 90s. With our teal and hot pink, all we need is like yellow and purple, and that's everything. But then it's got a sparkly guy right here in the front. This was from the Jessie James Bees Magical Mystery Bead Box for February, because we haven't got March yet. At least I haven't got March yet. And then another thing that I did with, oh, don't forget the Adornable Elements one. This one I did with some 2-hole beads for part of the way, and then 2-hole beads for these as well. This is a lot of fun to make little links using these 2-hole beads, because I really like the way that when you like stack them up with some stuff between them, it gives you this really cool texture on that. But also my dangles are 2-hole beads, so this was fun to use my 2-hole bead subscription for from Adornable Elements, and I used one of the seed bead colors from my seed bead subscription as well. That just went with it and complemented it. And that was everything in the bracelet bash. Everything that I made on camera, I will put links to those videos in the description below. So if you miss the bracelet bash and you want to watch it, it is a 3.5 hour video. So set aside some time if you're going to do that. A lot of my friends here on the YouTube area, they like to turn on those long videos and just hang out with me while they're creating something themselves. So that might be a fun thing for you to do. And then this one was on my late night beading with Becky. This was on, did I do it Friday? Yeah, Friday night. Wait, what day is it? Is it Sunday? I don't know what day it is. Anyway, I had gotten this mosaic turquoise pendant in like one of the adoption auctions from Gemstone Orphanage, and it comes with this dress up bag and everything. So I had just been busy with lots of other things, and so for the what is it called? For my late night beading, I decided to pull it out and make a necklace while I was chatting with everyone, and it was beautiful and it worked out great. And a lot of folks in my chat, they all voted for like the repeat. I pulled out 3 different options, and everybody chose option number 1, which gives me some sparkle, which is great because it just goes really well with the rest of this. And this was one of my favorite things that I made this week. I mean, there's actually a lot of favorites. I'm a little amazed that I did so much. I don't feel like I did that much, but I guess I did. And then this one was one yesterday on Saturday. I got this package from Softflex with the their spring goodie bag, and I just sat down and made a necklace when I unboxed it because I wanted to procrastinate doing some stuff around the house, and it just turned out really well and really pretty. So let's flip back up and we'll do a little try on. Okay, now I don't know if I'm going to try on all of my bracelets because there's a lot of bracelets in here because I made a lot of bracelets, but let's do necklaces at least as we do this. I just don't want to, you know, do an hour of this because I do have things to do this week. I've been doing a project with clearing out my closet area. This was my Celtic inspired St. Patrick's Day necklace, and you can see how it lays. I love it. It is just perfect, and I'm really happy with the result and the look that I get with this. Alright. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you about when we were down on the mat? This. Some of you will have seen the video for this and some of you won't, but it is one that I made today with the Potomac Beads Treasure Edition. So if you didn't watch that video yet, go find it because it is delightful. So that is one thing that I did today. Where else am I? Oh yeah, let's get my earrings out of here. And here's one of the moon earrings. I'm not going to put on both moon earrings. But this is the necklace that it goes with, and it's a lot of fun. It's really pretty, and it makes me happy. And like I said, I made this on my own time, not in front of the camera or anything like that. Just, I really want to make some things with some of my beads, so I did. There we go. Wait, why are you turned around? There you go. These little moons and things like that. Alright. And then this was the one with the fairy, the woodland fairy box. Sam's Bead Shop. Show you how that hangs. Nice metric necklace. I love it. And this is the bracelet. I guess I can show that to you. With all my little dangles. Right. Should I do... You know, let's save the bracelets for later, for after. Let's do the rest of the necklaces because I want to share this one. This was my mosaic turquoise that I made with my collaborative partners in my chat during my live. That was a lot of fun to get live input. So I do like a shorter necklace. So this was perfect length for me. Let's get my little earrings in here. It's just the perfect little set, I think. I feel fabulous. I feel bonita when I'm wearing these. Very bonita. All right. And then this one was the one from Softflex with their springtime goodie bag. Look at that. Ah, love, 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 love this. It is so... it makes me happy. It makes my heart happy. And you know what? If you make things and the things you make your heart happy, that's all that matters, is that you're happy with what you make. And then this one that if you haven't watched it yet, go find it. I made it today, and it probably, yeah, it'll have been uploaded just a little bit before this one, I'm sure. Because while I'm recording this, it's exporting after being edited. There we go. Is this or is this not just the most springtimey necklace you've ever seen? Oh man. Be a daisy if you do. All right. Now, bracelets. See if we can get these on without me needing to get my little assistant out here. There we go. So there's one. Oh, and this is that all the Ajas wrapped bracelet that I made the other day. If you are a fan of the Wheel of Time, episode 4 was amazing. So love that. I'm not gonna do spoilers, but bro, if you had avoided the show because you're like, it's not like the books or anything like that, just go watch episode 4. You don't need to watch the rest of it. Just watch episode 4 and you will not be mad about it, I promise. And this is the one with my silver silk and those pretty light pastel colors, the glow kit. And this is the one from Sam's Bead Box. This is the Northern Lights. I love, love, love the colors in this box. The pinks and the deep dark blues, purples. It just makes me real happy with all of these dangles. Where am I? Ooh, okay, so put those guys on. Oh, rainbow. Rainbow. This also makes me happy. Rainbows always make me happy though. They just always have, they always will. I am a big, big fan of all rainbows everywhere. There we go. With our sparkly guys. And you know what? These, like, probably if the light hits right, could prism. Probably. All right, and then this is the Jesse James Beads one. Fantastic. Again, this whole project was just an exploration of colors. The fuchsia beads. The fuchsia beads are my favorite, but also teal. Fuchsia and teal. Name a more iconic duo than fuchsia and teal. All right, and then we've got our pretty purple and aqua, my purple butterfly, and my little crystal bears. This was a pretty one. But I like having a dangle at the end of my strung portion so that I can have something to hold onto with my finger while I get my thing attached. That was a lot of fun to have all of these little dingles. Alright, and then we have this one. This is from the Curated Bead Box. I made 9 bracelets in one go. It actually took me like 3 days to do. You have no idea. Like, I started laying them all out and planning, and then I made 3 of them, and then I had to go to bed because it was time to go to bed, and then I had to work, and then I made 3 more during the day, and then I had to work some more, and then after I was done with work, I did 3 more, and then it took like another few hours for editing, getting all the clips together, exporting everything, and I didn't have enough room to export it in 4K, so I had to export it in 2K. So I apologize about the quality on that one, but this one was the 2-hole beads and seed beads from Adorable Elements. That was one of the funner ones, I think. Well, I mean, they were all fun, but because it's, you know, figuring out how 2-hole beads work together is always a really fun challenge for me. I think, and then I think there's one more. Yes, it's my key lime pie one. Yay! I got our key lime pie, and then I think I've tried everything on. So what am I up to this week? I am going to be doing a video using the key lime pie bargain bead box and the companion bundle that I opened up with y'all this week, and we'll do 2 jewelry sets like I've done before with the bargain bead box and companion bundles, where I make 2 jewelry sets in one video, using one and then using the other, and I think that'll be fun. I think that'll be really fun to do. Also expecting to do some unboxings. I've got my curated collections from Beads to Live By coming tomorrow, so we'll get that open. We'll look at our beads, and I think Cassandra had said the 25th is when it's going to open up for new subscriptions for that. She does have little mini curated collections available on her site right now, so if you didn't want to subscribe but you wanted a little, like, these beads all go together of 2-hole beads and seed beads, she has some of those, and like, you don't need to subscribe. You can just get them and purchase them and then have fun creating with them, you know. And I've got some tutorials that most of the bead shapes that come in that you'll be able to follow and make some of that. It's in my curated collections playlist, so you'll be able to find those. What else is happening this week? Yeah, I'm going to be doing the 2 jewelry sets. We'll get the curated collections unboxed. And then I think I will just pick something else that I want to make and make it with you. I might try and figure out a few more things that I can do with some of these 2-hole beads, because I do love doing 2-hole beads. It's a lot of fun. That takes a while though, because it's a lot of trial and error to try and get those together, but you know what, I think it's worth it too, to spend some time on that. But anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where we're at. I hope you guys are doing great. I shared a little, where did I put it? I must have tossed it. But yeah, it's one of those, it's been one of those days, been one of those weeks, it's been one of those months. We are finally like getting back to a little more normal than we have been. I have been going back to axes on Wednesdays, so like Wednesday nights I can't be as active in like visiting lives or any other things like that, because I've got to go out and do the things. So I've been trying to record ahead of time so that at least there's something to upload on Wednesdays while I'm out doing things with sharp objects and yelling at people, which is my favorite part of axes, is just hanging out with cool people and then doing a lot of yelling. It helps me and my soul to be able to yell at people in a good way, you know, because it gets noisy there. You got to be heard, telling people they did a good job. Speaking of yelling at people, my dog Natalie, she saw some kids on their roof, not on their roof, but like they had climbed out of their window and onto like the part of the roof below that window. There's the second story window down to the roof over their porch, right? And she was like, oh no, not on my watch, because, you know, if she sees anybody, she's like, I will bark at you. This is Natalie, not Ellen. Ellen whines, Natalie barks. So I looked out the window and was like, I gotta check on these kids, make sure they're okay, because they were kind of like huddled up, like out of view of the window. And I was like, are they hiding from someone? Is there like danger for these kids? And so like Natalie was like frantic. She's like, I gotta get outside and yell at these kids, let me out. Ellen was like, wherever Natalie is going, I gotta go back her up. She doesn't bark, she just stands there and looks sweet. She thinks she's menacing, she's not. But yeah, so I let the dogs out and I said, oh, she just, I explained that she just saw you and she didn't, she just wanted to bark at you about that, but she's okay. And then I asked the kids, I was like, are you okay? Do you need help? And they're like, oh, we're playing hide and seek. And I was like, oh, it made sense, because like that is a primo hiding spot if the hide and go seek game is happening indoors, to, you know, go out the window and hide out there. So like, so once I knew that they were okay, that they weren't like, you know, hiding from a dangerous situation or something like that, they were just having fun. They were just being a little feral. And like, you know, I had a bit of a feral childhood. I've jumped off roofs before. So a little bit later, I looked out the window and I guess their sister that they had been hiding from for the hide and go seek was out there with them and trying to encourage them to jump off the roof. And I could tell that they were headed that way because they were sitting right on the edge of it, you know, and she was like gearing herself up and I was like, somebody's gonna jump. Somebody's gonna jump. And so I went out and I yelled at the kids and I was like, bend your knees when you land. So because as I've said, I've jumped off roofs before, so you know, my mayhem and mischief days are mostly over. But I can pass on the advice to the new generation so they don't end up with totally shattered knees jumping off roofs when they're kids. Anyway, I've mentioned, I think in one of my videos recently, just how much I like having a neighborhood where you can hear the sound of kids playing, and just, you know, it makes my heart happy that that we're in that kind of a neighborhood, because I lived in apartments for a long time before I bought this house, you know, and you would see kids playing or hear kids playing, but like it wouldn't be just as free-spirited, I guess, as kids who have their own backyard and, you know, a street that they can go play basketball on over at their friend's house in their driveway or something like that, or just be able to ride their bikes up and down a street and know that people aren't going to come tearing down it at high speeds. Our roads are not, they're pretty narrow, so people usually have to go slow. And so the kids can ride their bikes and not have to worry too much about that. So it's pretty nice to have that sort of situation. But anyway, so now I'm the lady who yells at kids about jumping off roofs, but not in the way you thought. So anyway, I hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Let me know if you got up to anything, or if you were one of those mischievous kids who did crazy things like climb out of your window and jump off the roofs when you were younger. You know, were you a feral child? I would be really interested to find out, because it's just one of those things, you know? Kids are gonna be kids. Anyway, I hope y'all have a fantastic week this week, and I will see you. Happy beating.